What's the worst financial decision you've seen someone make? I knew someone who got a loan for their wedding, but decided to blow it all at a casino. Now they have a loan for $20,000 to pay off and nothing to show for it. A friend of mine, who is very bad with money, and his girlfriend bought some sort of water filtration system from a door-to-door salesman. He has to pay something like $00/month for this filtration system. He was all stoked, because it came with a free set of pots and pans. Fast forward a year and his girlfriend has broken up with him, moved out of the house, and he's had to sell his home because he can't afford to live there. The water filtration system is now sitting in a storage unit where he still pays $00/month for it because he's on a 2 or 3 year contract. Sorry, the details are fuzzy. We have great water quality in my area. A coworker I used to have worked every second of overtime he could for several years to save up for a house. When he applied for the house loan, he based his mortgage payment on all of the overtime he had been working. I tried to tell him that wasn't a good idea, but he didn't want to hear it. He ended up divorced a few years later because his wife got tired of him always working. A guy in my fraternity got $30,000 for an undisclosed reason, I'm guessing a family death or something, and he bet it all on the Yankees winning one game. They lost. A dude who owned a small convenience store in our town spent like $0.000 on fidget spinners. He was posting for like a year, begging people to buy them as he would lose his business, and his marriage was falling apart due to it. My maternal grandmother bought an 8-plex to avoid capital gains when she sold her large house. The apartment complex was in the red and needed a lot of repairs. She hired my father to do them and be on-site manager. The place started making money. My mom, divorced from my dad, was mad that my grandma bought it in the first place, then hired my dad, then was proved wrong because it was making money. My grandma was in her 90s, and my mom pressured her for years, so my grandma finally sold it. That place is in a high market area and is now worth millions. My mom made a poor financial decision based on petty spite. My supervisor took out a loan against their 401k to pay their rent because their credit cards were maxed. 2 weeks later, they bought a brand new $60,000 Lincoln with basically nothing down because her daughter just had a baby, and I need a bigger car for that. Had a coworker with 5 kids who could all go to USC for free once he has worked there for 15 years, even if he quit. He quit at 14.5 years for a job that barely paid more than he made at USC. Cost all 5 kids a free education at a top school since he couldn't wait 6 more months. My brother's ex fell for a Craigslist scam. She found a motorcycle and the guy needed money up front to pay bills before she even saw it. We told her don't do it, it's a scam. She said she already sent 000. Of course, he was never available to show her the bike, and we found out from my brother after they broke up she actually continued sending him money in hopes of getting the motorcycle. I think she was out 000 by the end. My coworker has $25,000 in anime figurines. He is in mega debt right now. My friend bought a used Hellcat Challenger yesterday at 10.5% APR and 80/MO insurance. He lives in my other friend's spare room. My roommate buys DoorDash almost every day. They'll maybe cook for themselves once or twice a week, but other than that they order food in 5 to 6 times a week. I know how much they make and I have not a clue how they can afford that. Apply for a $5,000 loan, didn't accept quick enough so applied for another $5,000 loan, both got accepted and ended up gambling it all. A guy I dated for a short time had been joining a MLM scheme selling insurances. I listened to his monologue and told him I had no money. He was furious and tried to sell insurance to our waiter at the restaurant. He failed again. I'm still laughing today, he was no good guy. Many decisions around new tattoos or dogs when they can't pay rent regularly. My aunt says the rich get richer and the poor get another dog. I find this to be true for some of my family. Extravagant weddings that end in divorce a year later. I won't name any names, but a good friend who literally had it all: the high-rise apartment and a house down the street with a pool, sauna, casita, Hummer, Corvettes, a successful business, and about 0.0000 in Bitcoin, threw it all away over a murder for hire, because him and his, non-related to any of the above successes, but from something about 10 years earlier before I knew him, got greedy, and no longer wanted to split their financial gain with a third person, so yeah. Hired someone on the dark web to carry out the crime across state lines, but communicated everything over text. All three men, my friend, his business partner, and guy they hired, have been caught and convicted. One received life in prison, and my friend and his business partner are up for the death penalty. Also, he was only 35 when he was originally arrested. They won thousands of dollars and bought a new entertainment system instead of getting current on their mortgage. Foreclosed on later that year. The thing was, the area had recently become the new area for young families, and housing prices had skyrocketed. They easily could have just sold the house, paid cash for a larger house 20 minutes up the road, and still had tens of thousands left over. Cashed in their 401k to have a cocaine party. They got married to someone heavily in debt. The person kept their financial situation from them until after they were married. I knew a guy who was terrible with money. Worked in a warehouse, but spent all his money on drugs and things for his controlling girlfriend. Then one day he came to me to show me his brand new car. Probably around 0-50k. He takes me for a ride and starts bragging about how he took his pay stub to like 10 of those cash advance places and get 0k worth of loans and had been living like a king. It was as if he thought he found some sort of life hack. To this day, I'm not sure if he just thought he wouldn't have to pay it back or what. A couple weeks later, I learned he wasn't paying attention while driving and rear-ended a bus going way over the speed limit and totaled the car. Train wreck of a guy. Neighbors. The bread earner died. Her sister and her daughter were left with the place. They could not afford the payments. They would not sell. They let it go to foreclosure even though it had about 20,000 equity in it. New owners came in, did very little cosmetic work, just a little paint and fixed the fence. They sold it and made a 0.00k profit in about 6 months. I've seen people turn down raises because they didn't understand how taxes worked. Someone took a loan to order a pizza. When I was 19, I went to Miami with some friends on Cinco de Mayo. We got insanely drunk and went bar hopping across the city. The next morning I looked at my transactions and realized I had spent over $1,000. I bought a Yeti soft cooler. My dad sold his car to someone so he could buy more crack while on a bender. Edit, wording/grammar. Timeshare. Someone makes the decision to have a baby to keep a relationship. They had neither a house nor job. To have a baby isn't cheap.